Hello guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another Premier Division show. In this show I'm going to be discussing all three Premier Division games that are coming up this weekend. Two on Friday and one on Saturday. If you're wondering why I haven't done any previews of the European games involving Shelbourne and St Patrick's Athletic, the main reason for that is because I'm going to both games and I'm going to vlog both games anyway. So I didn't see the point in previewing for that. No doubt there'll be a review for those games, so I'm looking forward to those two games. But in terms of the league this week, there's some massive games. In fairness, there are only three games, but some really big games, including the Munster Derby, where Waterford FC take on Cork City. And this is a very interesting game. We've got Waterford in 8th in the league, Cork City on bottom, 12 points between them. Cork City are 5 points between Sligo Rovers. Waterford are 7 points ahead of Sligo Rovers in the league. And it's a very interesting game for many reasons. One, from a Waterford point of view, where they got absolutely hammered last week in the Brandywell against the Candy Stripes of Derry City, and they'll be looking to bounce back quickly. And some would argue that this is the best fixture it can bounce back in. Forget about the derby for 2 seconds. Cork City are bottom of the league and really struggling. They're conceding a lot of silly goals. Now, in fairness, Waterford conceded 7 last weekend. And to be fair, Waterford conceding goals themselves. But they're probably playing better football overall, to be fair. Cork City, they feel like they have to get something out of this game. There was drama in the last 2 games, though, that they played each other in the league as well. And that's something that, you know, could be exciting coming into this game, to be honest with you. Waterford FC beat Cork City 2-1 at the RSC, and at Turner's Cross, one of the only 2 wins Cork City have had this season. Cork City managed to beat the Blues by 2-1. Late drama in both games as well. Kyle White scoring late on to give Waterford all 3 points at the RSC. I remember that game, and I watched that game back at the time as well. Waterford did deserve to win that game, to be fair. Cork City nearly hung on but couldn't quite hang on, and Waterford picked up an important win. But a dramatic win at Turner's Cross for Cork City. McLaughlin and Nelson with 2 late goals. McLaughlin scoring a penalty in 89 minutes, and Nelson scored 5 minutes injury time to give Cork City obviously a massive win at the time. And you know, they've disintegrated a little bit since, haven't they, in fairness. Speaking of Kit Nelson, talked about players with Cork City before, etc., and players in the attacking areas have been a bit disappointing for them, particularly Sean Maguire, has to be said. Daniels is awesome as well. Daniels left the club and went to Kilmarnock. He was actually joined top scorer, would you believe, with Kit Nelson. But Kit Nelson, I think, is a player that has performed very well for Cork City throughout the season, to be fair. He has performed really, really well and chipped in with some important goals, or goals that should have been important, you know what I mean? They haven't got enough wins, but yeah, top scorer at the club, really. With Daniels gone, he kind of doesn't count in a way, but Sean Maguire's only on 3 goals, disappointing for them. Cottle Sullivan, another player, probably disappointing. He's got great ability. I don't know, it feels like his head has gone, maybe too focused on moves. It's difficult that for a young player, to be fair, but he has the most assists at Cork City, would you believe, with 3 assists. Not high though, but he has the most assists. And you know, they need a performance from him. They need a performance from Maguire. Kit Nelson's obviously a key player as well. Conceding a lot of goals, a lot of cheap, poor goals. And I think with Nash coming in, I think he hasn't played very high. Hasn't really worked for me. Recently, they lost at Tallaght Stadium, lost at Shelbourne. The games were over, felt like they were over very early. They're not the type of team that'll go 2 down early and you feel they're going to come back into the game, like, you know. That's what happened in the games at Tallaght and Talca Park recently. And how do they attack this game? I can't see Jared Nash changing much in regards how he approaches the game tactically, if I'm honest with you. As for Waterford, John Coleman, it's perfect motivation, funnily enough, as I said before, when you do get a hammering, by the way. Sligo Rovers got an absolute hammering at Drogheda last year, 7-0, came back the following week, and guess who they beat? Waterford FC. I believe it was 3-0 as far as I remember as well. So, you know, if I'm a Cork City fan, I'm thinking, that's the last thing we needed. Waterford to go and get hammered in their last game, going to the RSC. But they have to go and try and perform, Cork. As for Waterford, Pádraig Gammond has joined top scorer in the league on 10. You could argue he's top scorer because Moses Dyer has actually left Galway United. Even Ammon got 2 goals in that defeat to Derry City. He's flying. Very, very good player, very clever player. Really like Padraig Ammon. One of my favourite players in the league, actually. Great attitude. Great role model, I think, for the young players of the club. Tom Lonergan has chipped in with 5 as well. So that's 15 goals between their 2 strikers. You can see there's no real issue there if you compare that to other sides in the league. Conan Noonan, who's on loan for Shamrock Rovers, has played well throughout the season generally for Waterford as well, and he's a good footballer. He's 5 assists too. So look, they obviously have a lot of threats there, don't they? And I think whereas Cork City, on paper they look like they have threats, but it's just not really working, is it? You know what I mean? Obviously the loss of Ronan Keaton, brilliant. Rory Keating, not Ronan Keating from Boyzone. Big loss, and Daniel's gone as well. And as I said, he's been disappointing generally. Maguire, unfortunately, they need to get something from him. Waterford recently signed Finlay Armstrong, who's a full-back who can play left and right, 22-year-old as well. He's come across from England too, so be interested to see if he makes a debut in that particular game. But as for a prediction, I think Waterford are going to win this game. I think there's going to be goals in the game. There can't be not goals in this game. I'd be amazed if there isn't any goals in this game, seriously. Out of any game, I've said, I'm going to clip this out, by the way, and put it on screen and finish 0-0. Instagram story or something. But no, I'm going for goals, but I think Waterford are going to win this. And I think they might win it quite comfortably. I think you're going to see a reaction. Waterford FC 3, Cork City 1. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, at Dalymount Park, Bohemians take on Galway United. And one of the interesting factors in this game is that all the players that have scored goals in the earlier 2 fixtures have left their clubs, basically. Galway United winning 2-0 at Dalymount Park earlier on the season. Very early in the season. I was there for that one. Dyer scored 2 goals, 2 great goals in that game as well to give Galway a deserved win. But then at Eamon DC Park, Galway United lost 2-1 home to Bohemians. Dyer scored again. But Sean Gretton has left the club. He scored twice in that game, including a very, very late winner, 7 minutes into injury time. So all the goal scorers have left the clubs in this one. And this one's a hard one to predict. Bohs generally do well in Galway, actually. If you look at the results in the last few seasons, they do better in Galway. But when they lost 2-0 earlier on in the season, there's a couple of things. One of the things was that this was in the height of their home form being absolutely atrocious. They've obviously clearly improved that since. So there's a different Bohs coming into the game with a different mentality. Doesn't mean it won't be a difficult game for them. It will be a difficult game. And Galway will be looking to bounce back from that defeat and draw the Bohs themselves will be looking to bounce back to winning ways, having drawn their last 2 games. And, at home. Whereas when they were going bad, particularly a team like Bohs, I think, when they're going bad, playing at home can be a struggle for a club like that. But when they're going well, it can be a serious bonus, like a massive, massive bonus with the crowd behind them, the crowd really in it. It can be a massive bonus for them. It's one of those grounds, depending on how they're doing generally. And, they'll be confident they can take a result. Of course, both teams missing those players, but you'd argue that Moses Dyer, top scorer in the league, with 10 goals with Ammon, is probably the biggest loss for Galway. It's a bigger loss for Galway, I'd say, than Gretton is for Bohs, being honest with you. They'll be looking for Shaw, who's only come in to lead the attack and hopefully show something in this game. And, as usual, they look to physically dominate like they do in every game, in every team. They look to be dangerous in set pieces, etc., and quick counter-attacks. Bohs, I'm sure, you'd imagine Malone the ball. Galway are well organised. They're good defensively. So Bohs might have to be patient. If they can get an early goal for them, happy days. But they're going to have to be patient and obviously be wary of Galway's massive threats as well. Bohs have an opportunity here for Friday anyway. Derry City play on Saturday, so they do. So they have an opportunity, Bohs, to close at the top of the table, really, and go ahead of Derry City going into Derry City's game against Sligo Rovers and try and catch Rovers. They're 11 points behind Shamrock Rovers. You can count this as a game in hand, basically, for Bohs. Like Galway United 7th in the table on 29 points. They have an opportunity to go level with St Patrick's Athletic with a win and with a game in hand. So that's something they'll be looking to do. Be interested to see if Aaron Bolger starts in the middle of the park for them too. I think Bowles will do it though. I think it won't be an easy game. It'll be a difficult game. I'm going to go for Bohemians 2, Galway United 1 again. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, the Showgrounds Sligo Rovers will take on Derry City. Sligo Rovers 9th in the league on 20 points. Derry City 2nd in the league on 40 points. And this is an opportunity. 2 games in hand for Derry City. 9 points behind Shamrock Rovers. They've won their last 4 games. So they'll see this as an opportunity to, again, like a game in hand, to try and reduce the gap at the top of the table. But they're coming up against a side who are on form, who've only lost 1 of their last 5 games, winning 2 of those 5 games, and 1 of those draws being against Shamrock Rovers in a very, very good game of football overall. So this is a difficult one. They've been a bit of a hoodoo, Sligo Rovers, for Derry City over the years, a massive hoodoo. But Derry City have managed to beat them twice this season. The last time they played the Showgrounds earlier on in the season, Michael Duffy's goal was enough to give Derry City a 1-0 win. But they had a big win against Sligo Rovers at the Brandywell. Mullen getting 2 goals. And Gavin White, who's in form, scored a fantastic goal in that game. Actually, a very good solo goal in that game. Sligo Rovers still are vulnerable at the back, it has to be said. But looking good going forward. You know, Kiki played really, really well in their last game against Shamrock Rovers. They'll be looking for him again. James McManus, I thought, had a good debut on loan from Bohemians. Gives them something different in the middle of the park, a bit of calmness, a bit of coolness. He's a good player, James McManus. So to be hoping for him to continue and perform in this game, and having drawn at home to Shamrock Rovers, they'll fancy their chances still. This could be a really good game actually, and it's a game that I will hope to watch. I will watch actually, and it could be a really enjoyable match, this one actually, the way both teams are playing. Derry City, it's funny because I'd say about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month, 3 weeks ago, a month, I was talking about how, you know, Michael Duffy was the only player in the attacking areas of the field that was really contributing, really. But a couple of players have stepped up since. Gavin White in those areas of the park has stepped up with a couple of goals and assists and just general play. And Liam Boyce has started to put the ball in the back of the net, basically. Liam Boyce is now on 8 goals. Duffy himself has 8 goals and 7 assists, which is fantastic, to be fair. But that's massive. Gavin White himself has 4 assists. But that's absolutely massive. And look, they're going to have confidence from winning 4 games in a row. 2 very impressive victories against Waterford FC and Drogheda United, particularly at the Brandywell. And then 2 dig-in type displays where they went to shells and pats and dug in and got a 1-0 win. So that's a good sign as well. And they'll be seriously hoping to close the gap at Shamrock Rovers. This is an opportunity to do that, of course. Sligo Rovers will be hoping simply just to pull away from Cork City if they can, because they look like a team that could do that, to be honest with you. Could they catch some of the teams ahead of them? It's difficult, but you'd never know. You'd never know. I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, if they were to get 3 wins in the next 5 games, they could well be up the arses of some of those teams, basically. So that's really interesting to me. Owen Eldin, of course, the 8 goals, came off the pitch with I think it was just a knock the last day. And, he scored 8 goals, and 2 of the goals were unbelievable against Shelburne and Bowes. He's playing off the right, at times as a winger, at times as an inside forward, kind of. But his work rate off the ball is tremendous as well. It's absolutely fantastic, so it is. And Will Fitzgerald has 6 assists in the league, so he's a danger man. Derry City will know about him. He was there at the club before. Really, really interesting game. I think Derry City are going to continue their form here and pick up 5 wins on the bounce, and it's not going to be easy at all. And I could easily see Sligo Rovers pulling something out of this game. But I'm going to go for Derry City to win it in an entertaining game. Strangely enough, there's usually not too many goals between these sides, particularly at the Showgrounds. But I think I'm going to go for goals in this one. Sligo Rovers 2, Derry City 3. Let me know what you think in the comments. So guys, that's about it from me. As usual, let me know what you think in the comments. Throw us your predictions, any thoughts you have. And best of luck to Shelburne and St. Patrick's Athletic in the European Games as well. See you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.